Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man HGM Law Comics, Greg Martin here on a Sunday afternoon. We'll be doing an auction later tonight at Strictly Comics at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be on with Edwin and a host of other auctioneers. I'll try to put a preview of my books up in the next hour or so, but I wanted to do a video kind of comic related, but a little different. Was thinking about who are the best female live action heroes in movies and television. Um, the female lead is getting a lot more recognition, casting a lot more pieces and shows, and so we're seeing a lot more of them. So the question is, who really does a really outstanding job acting as well as stunts and live action and all of that. So it came to mind and I was thinking of it. So I said, let's, start a discussion on that. And, I'll put some examples of people out there. And I like to get comments back from people like yourself on who you like and who was really good. I'm not going back in the 80s and 70s, even the 90s, because that just spans too much time period. I just want to focus in on right now, these last 10 years, and get some idea of who's out there that's really doing a lot, because we spend a lot of money and we devote a lot of time to these actors, and so I like to try to get some idea who's the best one. Males, I can do it a different video, but I wanted to do the females now because it's my opinion, but I welcome your discussion and your opinion in the comments because it's an interesting topic to think about. So we're going to start in a random order, and then, like I said, I'm leaving my favorite to the end, but we're going to do a random order. Hopefully, I can get this done relatively quickly because I don't want my camera to freeze. So, first one that comes to mind, of course, is Scarlett Johansson. She's the Black Widow in the Marvel MCU. She's got her own movie coming out. She's been featured in all the movies from the Avengers through Iron Man, and so she's done a lot. She's also a very accomplished actress in her own right. I've seen her in, dozens of films. One of my favorites is Lost in Translation, with her and co-star Bill Murray, and she's done quite a lot other stuff. She's done her own vehicles. I think Ghost was one of them. Lucy was another, where she's performed, tried to do action work. So she's, I think, the first one that comes to mind that a lot of people think about when you think about the top action female action star. So that's why she's up there. Of course, there's Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. She's also been in Fast and Furious. She's also done some smaller films. She is, going to be in another Wonder Woman film coming out. She's been in the Justice League films. Very well cast. Wonder Woman's had many people play her, but Gal Gadot for now is right there, probably cast, and does a fantastic job doing that role. So we put her in the list. Jennifer Lawrence is another. Now she plays Mystique in the X-Men movies. She's a very accomplished actress on her own right. I think winning Oscar nominations in Silver Linings Playbook, and I want to say American. There's another movie that she did with Christian Bale, and she got nominated for that. So she's a very, very accomplished actress in her own right. She also did the thing where she was a Russian killer. I want to say Red Letter, and so she's a very, very good actress. And I think her work in Mystique, my only her training in combat kind of makes it a little different, but she has to really be considered one of the top because very good actress and does very well in the films that she does do. Then, of course, we have Daisy Ridley, who is, of course, Ren in the last Star Wars trilogy. Relatively unknown before then. She's done a couple things after or in between Star Wars films. So her acting chops aren't as well known as some of the others, but still a decent actress, and of course did well as Ren in the Star Wars movies. So she's a good action star, have to be considered. She's in that top tier that you use, um, but that's why I have to include her. Zoe Saldana. She surprisingly has done quite a bit of action films from the Colombiana and of course the Guardians of the Galaxy films. She's done those extremely well. Very accomplished actress as well in her own right, and in the Star Trek franchise. So, we have to consider her um, really good. So, and also in that light, Karen Gillan, who also is in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, also in the Avengers Endgame. I first heard of her when she was a companion of Doctor Who, but now she's done these films. Plus, she's done the Jumanji reboot, the two new Jumanji films, and she's done a lot of action sequences in those as well. So, have to give her a nod to her pedigree and her ability to hold her own in this realm, because when you think about it, there are a lot of actresses in that do this, and to stand out, to make her mark, I think is very good. Then we have Ruby Rose, who was Batwoman for this past season, who gave up the role for whatever reason. I've seen her in other supporting roles in films, but for Batwoman, she had to do a lot of training in hand combat, weapons combat, and held her own very well. So now, how much was stunt double, how much was her? You don't know because there's always a mask and a wig on. So, but I presume that she did some of her own stunts as well, the ones that weren't that dangerous. So we have to consider her as a decent actress. She got cast well in the role of Batwoman. Um, where she goes from here, I don't know, but she has to be in the discussion. Ming Na. Okay, now most people, I remember her when she was Ming Na Wen, when she was in, I want to say it was ER, when she was in the ER movie TV series. But now she's been with the Agents of Shield, and she's been there for quite some time. Also, a very good, skilled uh, um, hand-to-hand combat. Also, I've seen some weapons training with her, so have to give her the consideration as well when thinking about modern day live action female actors. Then we have, of course, Angelina Jolie from Salt, from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, from Malevolence, from Tomb Raider. Angelina Jolie has been there and back. She has an Oscar. She's extremely well versed. She hasn't done anything, she's done the Maleficent movies recently, but none of the big action films recently. But gotta give her, the chops, because she handled the role extremely well. She did quite a few movies and made her mark in action as well as in drama. So a very accomplished actress as well. So gotta give her that. Jessica Chastain has, she was in the Snow White and the Huntsman film, along with Emily Blunt, who was another actor. But Jessica Chastain, I know more from, The Help, from the Osama bin Laden films. I mean, a very accomplished actress, so she does a lot of good stuff. And I think she even got an Oscar nomination for her work, but also is trying to get into the action realm as well. So you've got to consider her. Emily Blunt, you have to consider because of Edge of Tomorrow was an excellent film with her. The Quiet Place, I think that's what the name of the film was. Also another really good film for her. I mean, Mary Poppins, we can't really go into that, but I think Edge of Tomorrow was a very, very good film for her and required a lot of work. and I think she did an excellent job with that, as well as the stunts work in The Quiet Place also was very good. So now we have Elisa Vikander, who Oscar winning. She's done some. She's done Robot. She did World War Z, and she did the latest Tomb Raider film. And also she was the um, I want to say anti-hero protagonist in the last Bourne film with Matt Damon. So another accomplished actress in her own right. The Tomb Raider work was okay, but it did require a lot of stunts, a lot physically demanding. So I give her credit for that, and have to put her in this discussion. And my understanding, if there's another Tomb Raider film coming, she's supposed to be cast for that as well. So I don't sleep on her. So I think she has to be in the discussion. Then we have Rebecca Ferguson, very, very, very good British actress, mostly known from Mission Impossible Fallout and from the previous one. Did a lot of work, a lot of stunt work. Very, very good live action person. She was also in Men in Black, the last one, the international one. I think that's what it was called. But she was also in that one as well. So she's done very well in her films, highly regarded, very good British actress, but also very, very good when it came to hand-to-hand combat. And so I have to give her a nod for that, and put her in the discussion. Then we have Michelle Yeoh, um, extremely, extremely good in martial arts. So we've seen her in Tomorrow Never Dies. We've seen her in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You've seen her in a ton of films that have done. She's done very well. Very accomplished actress in her own right without the martial arts training, but martial arts, she's you got to say hands and feet above anyone else when it comes to hand to hand combat. She is extremely good. There's also Zhang Ziyi. I'm sure I butchered her name, but she also does a lot of those films. She did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and also did. I want to say she did one of the Rush Hour films with Chris Rock and Jet Li. So you got to consider her as well. But Michelle Yeoh, extremely, extremely good. Kate Beckinsale from the Underworld films. She's done, she's very good in that, and she's done a lot of action with those films. So, haven't done anything that recently, but got to put her in the discussion because, again, present day, she's done quite a bit in that realm. Mila Jovovich, you know her from The Fifth Element. You know her from the horror films. She's the horror films I'm talking about. But she did Resident Evil. And so you know her from all of those. So very demanding physical work that she's done, and so she gets, I want to say, an honorable mention nod for her work as well. And then you have Sofia Boutella, who may not know the name immediately, but she's done a lot of good work. She was in The Kingsman. She was the Samuel Jackson's right hand person in The Kingsman. Really, really good in that with her fighting skills and training. She was also the villain in The Mummy. So with the Tom Cruise movie. So she also did really well in those, and also she was in Star Trek Beyond, and she was in, I want to say, Fahrenheit 451, the HBO special as well. So done a lot of good work. She got cast in quite a few things, and so she's done really well. So that leads us to my number one, and I want to say, all the actors that I've talked about have been cast extremely well. Hollywood, the casting agents, put these people in the correct roles for them with their skill sets, with their acting ability and everything. I can't imagine anyone in a different role than what they are. And that's when they're cast correctly and they're in the right vehicle that they should be in. So, because you can't just go, okay, they may go for a role, but when they cast them, they put them correctly and they make the film for them, and it really works. And that's Great. So my number one is Charlize Theron. She's been around for a long time. She does a ton of drama. She's Oscar award winning. Um, I mean, if you ever get a chance to really look at her work, she is, I want to say, the modern day, Meryl Streep. I mean, she from Eileen playing Eileen Warnos, the only female serial killer that you know, to other things that I mean, she's done a ton of different stuff, but her action stuff is really, really come well. Atomic Blonde is great. Aeon Flux is really good. She was in Prometheus, which did well, and now she's in The Old Guard, a Netflix film, which has her playing I want to say 4 to 6 thousand year old warrior with using an axe that I've never seen before. But the physical training and the combat training that she displays in this movie are top notch, absolutely top notch. And the fact that she has the gravitas to understand the role and bring that experience to the role and make you think, yeah, this should have been a big screen. And I saw it not knowing it was a comic book. And when I'm watching them going, it feels like it's a comic book. She is absolutely really, really good in that role. And it made me start thinking about her past. Now, she also did Mad Max Fury Road. And she did very, very well in that. She's done a ton of stuff. And, the more you think about it, the more you look at her career, you just got to go, okay, yeah, she is extremely good. She's an excellent actress. And she puts herself in her roles really well. And in this one, she did a very good job. So she had good weapons training, she had good hand-to-hand skills, and she had good, I want to say firearms training as well. So that I think that really put her up into the top spot for me. Now, again, you got to watch the movie, but of course, it makes me now want to go read the comics and read the second series, because if there's a second movie, it is going to be absolutely great, because I'm not going to give spoilers because I think it just got released a couple days ago, which is when I saw it, and you have to watch it yourself. But I think the second movie, if they do one, is going to, if they follow the second series of the comics, is going to be just bang on. It left questions, a really good cliffhanger, and now that I know what the premise is, I'm going, yeah, I can see that. But I can't pick anyone else who would fit that role for this hero than Charlize Theron. So watch it, give your opinion. I want to hear about it and want to hear your opinion. Everyone's got people they like. Maggie Q is another one you can think about, who's been out there. Everyone's going to come up with someone different, and that's great. That's what spurs the discussion. So I welcome your comments. I welcome to hear who you think about. It's an interesting thought, and hopefully we can have some good discussion. So please, if you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments in the bottom. Love to hear them and talk about it later. It's not fully comic related, but sort of. But I wanted to give some time and give some energy to the topic, because I think it's a really good thing that we talk about, especially since more comics are coming to the screen. I'm not going to talk about Warrior Nun. I've only seen 3 episodes of that. Not too impressed with the writing, but out of that, I like Shotgun Mary. I think Shotgun Mary is so far, out of 3 episodes, the best thing that that show has. And so, and I think one of the criteria I have, or big question, is which one of these would I want to have next to me in a fight? And first is Charlize Theron, and then next is Shotgun Mary. Shotgun Mary is by far just wonderful so far. But like I said, I've got to watch the rest of it, which I'll do at some point in time. Which says, it's not a great show because I'm not binging it. And so that's the thing. If I got other things I can do and not binge that show, then it says it doesn't hold my attention too much. but we'll see how it progresses. So hopefully I'll get to watch it a bit later. But again, we will. Hopefully I'll put another video up in an hour or so with my preview of tonight's auction lots. But see you soon. Thank you.